Hail, Guardians and Valkyries. We are King Eric and Queen Kyla, here to give you some instructions of your roles as a Guardian and Valkyrie. We are the King and Queen of the land of Halcyon, one of the 5 kingdoms in the land of Eroas, under the High King. We have the virtue of peace, meaning we take an active role in defending the peace throughout our lives and our land. And in doing this, we've created a wonderful military program called the Guardians and Valkyries. And in this program, there is an oath that goes along with it.
So you all as Guardians and Valkyries are going to be required to take this oath. So we'll explain a little bit about what it means. We in Halcyon created this oath that everybody who would be learning the art of weapons and of warfare would take. And this is an oath in which we are declaring our allegiance to the High King, who in heroic youth symbolism represents God. So we're swearing our allegiance to the High King and to uphold the peace wherever we go. The first line of this oath talks about weapons of peace, which is kind of an odd wording, but what we mean by that is that your weapons that you're going to be learning how to use they're not weapons for war, they're not things for your own personal gain, they're not things for destruction. Your weapons are tools for promoting peace. So I'm going to go ahead and recite to you the oath. When we do the oath, when you're reciting the oath, you always salute. This is the salute of the Guardians and Valkyries. You're going to be doing this a lot when you recite the oath, when you are addressing leaders, when leaders are addressing you. This is our oath. So the oath goes like this. We take hold of our weapons of peace to defend those who could not defend themselves, to fight for our God and our King, and to stand for peace and righteous protection. We declare our allegiance to Eroas, our High King. So we're going to have you all take that oath, and we want you to be serious about this oath. We want you to memorize it and internalize it. This is not just something that's going to define your role as a youth leader in Summit. It's also something that we want you to think about how you can apply into your daily lives. How can you be a defender of peace and of those who can't defend themselves? And how can you, in every aspect of your life, be using any skills that you have to serve God? So please take the oath seriously.
Yes, we want you to memorize the oath so you can say it, on Summit and throughout your training. So you are citizens of Chrysothél and Terraliba. Come to Halcyon to train in our Guardian Valkyrie program. So you are here to train and become one in defending the peace throughout the land. And now in Summit, you've come back to Chrysothél and Terraliba to share your knowledge that you've gained in this program with the other youth of your land.
So that's your character. That's who you are as Guardians and Valkyries in the in character, in your persona that you're creating. This is who we want you to show the young knights and handmaidens that you are. Now, we want to go into a little bit your role as a youth leader and the responsibilities of your role. The main thing, of course, that the Guardian and Valkyrie program is responsible for is weapons training. We are going to take the main role, the main leadership in weapons training for these youth, these kids, the knights and handmaidens. So that means that each of you as a Guardian or Valkyrie needs to be very proficient with your weapon. You need to know how to use it in and out. You need to know all the safety, all the responsibility, all the respecting your weapon. You also need to be comfortable enough to be able to help in training these young knights and handmaidens. But that's not the only thing that you do. You're going to be with your camps and kingdoms for a lot of time. There's going to be a lot of time at Summit where you are with your camps and kingdoms that you're not actually doing any weapons training. And you have a lot of responsibility as well, just all the time that you're with your camps and kingdoms. You are there to be a support role to the princess or master knight princesses and master knights of your camp. You're there to help in whatever needs are there. You are also, and this is really primarily, you're there to be an example to the knights and handmaidens in your camp or kingdom. You're there to, as someone that they can look up to. They're going to be impressed by you. They're going to be awed by you as long as you are really presenting this character of this guardian or Valkyrie. They're going to look up to you in all of your conduct and the way that you present yourself and the way that you show how you follow the standards that these kids, these knights and handmaidens are learning, and how you use those in your life.
You have trained in our program, become this elite military force, and you, like the Master Knights, have become proficient and experts with your weapons. And you've also learned how to be a defender of the peace. So you're to keep this example up for the boys at Summit the whole time you're there, to be this stoic military example to them.
But also someone who is accessible, who they can not feel too intimidated by, not so intimidated that they wouldn't want to come up to you and talk to you and ask you questions. There's a lot of responsibility in this role, but you are all going to be great at it. You're going to do great, and we are very glad to have you.
Thanks for coming and joining us in Halcyon and taking part in our program.